Welcome to another episode of Absolutely Fabulous. It's episode 52. You're here with Gillian and Katja, and today we're going to be talking about fact or fiction. Australian farmers using sheep hair as fencing. Is it a natural detergent for is it a natural deterrent for kangaroos and fertilizing your soil?
And we're also going to be talking about the silent killer of family farming businesses, something that we love to bang on about, Katja. Conflict, confusion, control. Yes, it's succession.
And continuing on from that conversation, we have had listeners who were at the Australian National Field Days, and they have submitted a topic about succession and conversations had there at the National Field Days. It's not usual that we talk about two succession topics, but they are both taking very different angles.
And we're also going to do, because we're recording on a Tuesday night, not that you will know that, everybody, because you're just still listening on a Friday. We're usually, we're recording on a Wednesday. There you go. I've lost track of time completely. We usually record on a Monday night, but we held it over for Wednesday so we could talk about the bingo night and the excitement and fun that was had by all. It was a pretty interesting evening. A lot of stress for us as organisers, but it went off pretty well, I think. And the sponsors, so amazing, so generous.
Absolutely.
Hi, welcome to Absolutely Fabulous. My name is Gillian Fennell, also known as Station Mum 101. I love everything about agriculture, especially the people and especially communicating about what makes Australian ag so special.
And I'm Katja Williams, a beef, cattle and cropping farmer, and I love all things ag, and I'm also known as the ultimate farm wife. Together we are absolutely fabulous, and we are talking all things agriculture beyond the headlines.
And we can't wait to give our opinion to you, and we hope you enjoy it.
So let's get into today's episode. So let's start it off with some chit chat. Gillian, apart from the bingo night, what have you been up to this week?
I haven't been up to much, to be completely honest. I got home Friday last week from a trip down south. I'm heading off again next week. I'm flying this time, so 3 days instead of a whole week. Just doing stuff. For those of you who know, I'm also tangled up with Farm Table. So Rob, our managing director, is very excitingly heading off to Agritechnica in Germany, I think it is the world's biggest agricultural trade fair. So it's like a giant field day / show on steroids. Don't get confused because it has Agritechnica in the name, because it is a foreign language. It's not just all about ag tech. It is by farmers for farmers. So he is going to go over there and spread the Farm Table name around and hopefully bring some clients back to Australia if he's doing his job right.
That's amazing. It is absolutely incredible to have a company and someone like Rob on board promoting Australian farming and industry overseas as well. So it's going to be mutually beneficial, not only for those internationally, but also for Australian farming businesses. So that's incredible.
Yep, it's going to hit, and he's really, really good at what he does. So, it's going to be great. What have you been up to, Katja? Are you cutting hay or anything at the moment?
Yeah. So we are cutting hay. It is all baled. We hit just under 1,000 bales for the week. So, and by that I mean Ned did. Ned hit just under 1,000 bales for the week. So I've been holding down the fort. We did have another little fire in the crops. It's just the season. I think this is almost unheard of, and I've been on farm over 10 years now, and I do not remember a season like this. I think it is really letting us know the summer that we have ahead and what we can expect in the next coming weeks and months. So incredible, like big reminder that service your fire units, make sure they're filled with water, and that you've got your communications and everything settled for on farm. I did take a little bit of a break. I headed down south to the Australian National Field Day So I took all 4 kids. Initially, the plan was to do it solo, but when I was on the phone with my parents on the way down, and I was like, "Oh, this is what I'm doing," they were like, "You're not doing that by yourself with 4 kids." So it was very lovely. I did get to meet up with family while we were down there, and yeah, really great day. You could definitely spend all 3 days that the event is on actually there doing different things, going to the different events and talks and everything else. But I maxed out at 2/3 of a day with 4 kids, even with help. So it was a great day. Really glad to be back.
Oh, excellent. You do drive. Everyone says how much I drive around, and yes, I do drive around. But you do a fair bit of driving around the countryside as well, especially in show season.
Especially in show season, which is really funny because most people would be like, "I thought you didn't leave the farm cart."
Meanwhile, they say to me, "Oh, are you at home? Do you even remember what it looks like? Do you?" So, yeah.
Funny.
Oh.
Excellent. Well,
Oh.
let's jump into our topic number 1 because it was sent through with an ag fab. So, fact or fiction, it has come through with an image. We will pop the image up on the socials. So, Australian farmers are using sheep hair as fencing, natural deterrent for kangaroos and fertilizing. I think this article must be absolutely taking a piss because there is no way that someone with an agricultural background would write a heading saying sheep hair. Sheep have wool.
I've looked at it and I've read the article, like I don't know, the blurb, I guess, because it was on Facebook. It is 100% AI. It is the most ludicrous nonsense I have ever read. And I spent a lot of time on the internet, so that's saying something. Yeah, it is. Apparently, we are, instead of relying on traditional wire barriers or chemical deterrents, which is we don't do that for barrier fencing anyway. We do lay a chemical barrier along the dog fence in South Australia, but we don't use chemical deterrents. Some rural communities are using bundles of sheep hair strategically tied along fence lines to ward off unwanted wildlife, particularly kangaroos. A, no, because that will wreck your fence, and B, it's not going to deter a kangaroo in the first place. Apparently, the scent of the wool acts as a subtle sign of predator presence. Last time I checked, sheep were herbivores. It's not like hanging a dog's scalp or a fox pelt on the fence. They are definitely predators. But yeah, it is a biodegradable material. That is true. It is eco-friendly. I don't, and this says after rainfall, the nutrients in the wool, including nitrogen and organic matter, seep into the soil. After rainfall, after hanging sheep's fleece on your fences, your fence will no longer exist because its capacity to get wet and hold a lot of water. So yeah, it's additionally, and this will probably come as a big shock to all of you wool producers out there, the use of sheep hair is a cost-effective solution for farmers who already raise sheep. Instead of discarding the lower grade or excess wool that doesn't make it to the textile markets, they can repurpose it for field management. Allegedly, the method is low-tech, renewable, and deeply aligned with sustainable agricultural practices. That may be true. There is a lady somewhere in Australia I've seen making sheep's fleece, especially that lower grade or crossbred wool that's usually made in a carpet, into pellets for your garden as a soil enrichment and to hold moisture and those sorts of things. But I really don't think she is out there hanging fleece on her fences. She is repurposing it and value adding to a low value product. Apparently, it reflects Australia's broader movement towards land management solutions that are environmentally sound, economically viable, and grounded in local knowledge, unlike this bit of rubbish, which is grounded in fantasy. We do all those things. We are very, very resourceful when it comes to land management solutions. We are very, very good at managing our environment, and we are very, very good at not spending any money. But we don't do things like this. So yeah, the comment section though,
I loved the comment section. It was hilarious. Some people have written, I thought that was just Dorper sheep.
Yeah, so there's a lot of people in there recommending that if your fences are like that, to check your sheep for lice. So it's a lot of people are telling people how very wrong they are. And then there would be the other idiots who are saying this is a marvelous idea. Should be more of it.
So many in the comments thought this was legitimate and an incredible idea. And if you clicked on those profiles, those people were not from the agricultural industry. They were not farmers. Majority of them lived in Sydney and could not see an issue with this article, particularly when they were celebrating the fact that kangaroos, like, it was a win-win solution for kangaroo lovers.
Yes, because nasty farmers, if they were nice farmers, they'd wrap the top barb so the kangaroos, if the kangaroos scrape their legs, it wouldn't hurt so much. Not nice farmers. And the lunatic who has put this up, it's just clickbait. It's just engagement farming, because the way social media works, if you look at my great big earnings for the month of $38, the more people who view your content and click on it and stuff, then they put a little ad down the bottom of it for you. And then you get a very, very tiny, tiny revenue share of like 1 cent per click or something. So that's what these people are trying to do. And of course, everyone's like, outrage, and participated in it, and it's probably made these people a lot of money. So when you do see nonsense like that, just hide it. Just don't click on it. Don't engage them. So yeah, that's what it's trying to do. And on the like, kangaroos very rarely jump over fences. They much prefer to push through them, which is why they're so hard on fences. If they just jumped over the top of them, they'd never make holes in your netting. So yeah.
Absolutely. So the Farm Owners Academy is doing some incredible and free workshops. So they are doing one on the silent killer of family farms. Conflict, confusion, and control are their headliners. So if you are wanting to spruce up a little bit more on your succession knowledge, have it from, Farm Owners is, from my understanding, is two fellas who have background in family farming, in agriculture, and they're putting together all these workshops and programs, which are both short-term and long-term, to be able to really help the agricultural, oh, my words tonight. The agricultural
because you're still in a
industry.
high from the bingo, Katja.
I know. So they're wanting to make sure that we can spot misalignment in your family team, avoid costly personal clashes, build simple structures, and lead without micromanaging, which are some big issues they have highlighted within family farming businesses.
And it's not, even if you're not at the stage for succession yet, it's worthwhile participating in these types of things, especially if they're free, because there are sort of conflicts that arise, especially around management and control. So if you got two brothers working there, one wants to go full regen, the other one wants to just, put out N like it's going out of fashion. So there's going to be conflicts to manage. Like, do we do legumes this year? Do we muck around with chickpeas? That sort of stuff. And like, I've done this and I've read that and I did this, and who is actually in control? So is our dad still there signing the checks because he's still ultimately in control? All these types of things. And if you start working on it as early as possible, it does lessen, I'm not going to say it removes, but it does lessen some of that ill feeling and conflict around when succession planning starts in earnest. And, we know it's how challenging it is, but trying to get the older generation to participate in these things, even if they just sit there on their own computer and listen, they might sort of absorb some information by osmosis or something. And when they come to you and say, oh, I heard this thing and it was a really smart idea, let them have the win. Don't try and argue the point with them. Just say, yes, I'll follow. You are the smartest man that's ever lived. Let's do that. Because it's just getting your own way. So you don't need to be right to get your own way. Just encourage people to participate in these types of things. And it's really, really generous of Farm Owners Academy to do this. And it is because it's a massive industry need. We keep talking about it and nothing keeps changing. If nothing, it's getting worse, as we're going to discuss in a minute.
Yes.
So yeah, that's probably the two sides of the one coin. We've got the positive, proactive want to help people out. And then we've got what we heard happened at the field days.
Yes, so many mixed reports about the field days. Before we jump into that, Gillian, do we have an ag fab, and did we have any questions come up over the socials?
I'm going to give Patricia Ag Fab of the Week. I'm going to send her a merchandise pack, and if you were on our bingo, you will know why that is so funny.
And if you'd like to be involved in more in-jokes like this from the other experiences that we have,
you need to come along to our fundraising events, because honestly, that was the highlight of my evening. We'll talk about it afterwards. She's a lovely, lovely lady. Lovely lady. Technology is not her strong point, but she got there in the end. Yes. So yes. I probably, to be honest, again, and regular listeners will know this, there probably are questions, but I didn't bother to look. But the work pants question, though, still has not been answered, because the ag fabber asked us about work pants and to make our recommendation, who must be denim or cotton. So now they've gone to try and buy ladies' work pants, which is one thing. They're generally a size 12 to 14 when they shop in normal pants. In ladies' work pants, they're a 16 to 18, because they're not cut for fuller bellies and thighs. They're for, skinny men's, or they cut off a man's pattern and they just slap a lady's tag on it. And this is the real problem. So again, if you're listening, Ag Fabs, and you've got any recommendations for ladies' workwear brands that actually fit correctly, please let us know and we will pass them on.
Yeah, absolutely. So heading into topic 3, that is the Australian National Field Days. So while I was down there, because I had the kids, I didn't go to a lot of the talks. So a lot of what I'm about to share is anecdotal from other people. Now, there was a succession workshop done there, which was by a gentleman I assume he is about his 50s or 60s. I don't know him personally. He runs as a business Succession. And I have worked out people either love him or they hate him. And the reason is he is incredibly direct. He gets along very well with the older generation, particularly the males. And so he is able to work Succession with them on the direction that typically the father wants to do. So there are a lot of people who really enjoy that. There are other people, which is the reports that I heard, where people left the session, people ended up in tears, and other people felt physically ill and shaken from his presentation, because I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget, because it has just left my mind. Where did I put it, Gillian?
I don't know. You didn't send it to me.
I didn't send it to you.
It's not in my chat. I will double check, because it might be in our chat, and it could be that I've forgotten.
Okay, here we go. So I ran into probably 10 different people who had the physical reaction, who left the session, who left in tears, and they said it was so atrocious because he was telling the parents who were at this succession place, as well as in his succession planning, that their kids should be grateful to be a part of the business, that it should be a privilege to have come home, and that they should not be asking for money or security to be working in that family farming business, that it is up for the kids to make the decision whether they are going to gamble it and come home, take no wage, not support their own family, and hope that one day their parents who built the enterprise would one day allow them the honor of taking on the business. For those who've been listening a long time, you know what Gillian's and my thoughts are. This is something that we very strongly disagree with, because you cannot string someone along for 30, 40 years, who has come back and is working full-time in the business, who is raising a family of their own, to give them no financial support and to give them no security. That is absolutely disgusting. And that person, I'm not going to mention their name, I'm not going to mention their business, but if that is what they are telling these families and these parents, then they should be reported for financial abuse. How dare someone give that advice? Why would anyone turn up to a job, any job, not just in farming, for nothing?
You can't, like, and all things aside, you can't advise businesses to not pay the people who are working there, because that's illegal for a start.
Yeah.
Like, let's ignore the fact that they're doing it to their own children and then by default their grandchildren. Like, that is unconscionable conduct. And you do know, like, this I'm not surprised, to be honest, because, as you know, I do a lot of research and reading and listening and stuff in the succession space. And yes, everybody, I am still working on the podcast. It's coming along. And that is why. So that's not the only sort of practitioner I have heard this approach from. And look, if you're in a succession meeting and that's who is trotted out as an advisor, just pack your shit and go, because, like, I don't think you're going to get a fair result. It's just, and you know, I'm really, there's not very many farming families out there now that are just trying to transition to the second generation. Like, there would be some, no doubts, there would be some, but for the older generation to say, well, I built this up from nothing, probably not true either. They probably inherited it from their dad. So,
or at least had the opportunity over 20, 30 years of working on the property to slowly transfer assets or to slowly buy them out, whatever the arrangement is.
And I think that's, yeah, I think that's what gets lost or misconstrued. It's not that the second generation is just rolling up with the hands out and saying, Mum and Dad, got a room for you at the old folks' home in town. Pack your shit and get out. I'm moving into your house. Here's my 20-year-old bride that I found on Instagram. Got her in fresh from the Gold Coast. No, we don't have a prenup. It's all good. It's all good. It's not that. People are making the conscious decision, yes, to go back because they love what they do. They want to help their parents out. They want their kids to grow up on a farm, and they do want the asset in the end so they can continue the farming enterprise as a family unit. And to suggest sort of that people who go, and anyone who's listened to us talk before, Katja, we know the realities of what happens to a lot of these families. They are not paid properly. 9 times out of 10, the accommodation in which they live, which is on farm, is very substandard, and they don't fuss over it because the farm will always come first. And why would you have a house that doesn't have giant holes in it when you could spend that money on a new trough or something? That's just a no-brainer. You need a tractor. My God, heaven forbid you want cupboard doors as well. These families that go back to the family farms are surrendering a lot, because most of them are smart people. They could be earning a lot of money somewhere else, and they are surrendering a lot. And so the payout is that they get to finally have control, majority control in some cases, depends on the siblings, of that asset and the family business. They want to be farmers. That's why they're doing it. It's just, makes me so mad. I guess it was really lucky that I don't live in that area, because there would have been a scene. There would have been a public scene.
It made me think, maybe I should write to the Australian National Field Days board and be like, hey, Jill and I have this agricultural podcast. We'd love to be involved in the next succession talk that you do. And hopefully
put us on a panel. Let's go. Have a panel session. Let's go. And this is the interesting thing, because there's succession practitioners out there themselves who would fight that person.
Yes.
And this is, it's so, you have to be so careful when you're picking someone to help your family through this journey. And I see a lot of people on social media sort of touting their expertise and those sorts of things. And, you know, if your mum and dad are on Facebook a lot, that might be where they choose someone from. But make sure you ask around. Ag's a small world. Oh, you disappeared for a minute.
I lost you.
You're back.
I'm back. You're back.
We must have just lost internet for a second. Ask around. Ask what other people's experiences have been. You know, it's just, yeah, get personal references for someone's work would be my greatest tip when you're looking to engage someone to help your family through this very fraught journey.
Absolutely.
That's so disheartening. That's made me really upset and sad now.
Me too. And I heard that report from at least 10 different people. I only heard one positive report about
a
this
75-year-old man.
No, no, they weren't. They were a daughter who was moving back into the family farm, but is the only person who would work with the dad, by what I could gather from our short conversation.
Families are fucking weird.
Yeah. Yes. If you were there and you came away devastated, upset, we 100% get it. And there is someone out there who will be able to help. And they're not all like that. So we do wish all the best in searching for the right fit and searching for what's right for you and your family. So yes, you know, if you're do succession and you want to come and have a chat to Jillian and I and talk about what you do differently to that, then, you know, we'd love to have you on the podcast. So
yeah, you can. We will take your money if you want to sponsor a podcast episode. But yeah, everyone, and then this is the thing. There's a lot of practitioners have different approaches because there's lots of different family farms and nobody is, you know, everyone's unique and everyone's situation is unique. So shop around, get, you know, personal referrals for someone's work.
Yeah.
And I guess it's like any sort of thing. Be really, really careful of contracts and stuff that you sign that don't lock you into an ongoing relationship if you're not comfortable with working with that person.
Yeah.
So yeah, just be a bit mindful and careful.
Yeah.
That would be my advice.
Absolutely. But Jillian, we're up to the bingo night. So will you please give us a review on what the first Harvest Her Power fundraising event was like, and give a shout out to the sponsors who came on board for this, because every single person I spoke to post-event loved the fact that you have organised the vouchers that were given away as prizes.
It was probably the most generous response I have had asking people for stuff, right? Because it's no secret everyone's doing it tough at the moment. And the people I approached were small, independent creators and businesses, mainly from Instagram, and they were so responsive and so helpful. And you know, and I really love that we asked for the exclusive discount codes, because then that gives them the opportunity to sort of get some money back out of our attendees as well. It's just like a mutual support sort of thing. Like, thank you very much for the voucher. Oh, and you've given us a discount code. Cool. Now we're going to encourage our people to go and spend money there with you. So I do have it here, actually, scratching around. I've prepared. Everybody,
Woo-hoo.
It's a world first. I've prepared for the podcast. We had supporters for the podcast, and these are already on our socials with links and tags to the businesses on Instagram. All these people are online. Ugly Fish Sunglasses have given us a 20% discount on sunglasses. Red Tractor Designs, a $30 gift card. Gondwana Macadamias, long-time supporters of the show, $50 voucher. Salty Vibes, I love what she does. She's awesome. $50 voucher. Little Farmer's Store. Kim's story was taking the headshots at the conference earlier this year. She is a beautiful, beautiful person. $100 voucher. Apple Tree Flat, $20 voucher. Lalira Skin, Rochelle, she's a friend of mine, lives in Melbourne. 60% discount code for people who came to the bingo, plus a $100 hydration pack that was up for grabs. Kitchen Language, my personal favorites. She's awesome, awesome. If you want the C word on a tea towel or an apron, definitely head over there. Stubby Coolers, she's got it all. We have a special ongoing deal with Kitchen Language because she likes my style as well. We get a 10% discount with a code, and every sale that uses that code, we, the podcast, gets 10% because we are fundraising for Katja to get a heating/cooling device for her cupboard that she sits in. Untainted Tallow, $50 voucher. Homestead Road, the door prize, Bridget, beautiful human being, $250 voucher, which we then convinced the winners. Well, the winner was the husband, and we convinced him, we think, to add an extra $250 to really make the shopping trip there for his wife a beautiful event. Bird's Nest, long been a favorite of mine. They're in Cooma. They really understand women's bodies, and they will not lie to you when they tell you that, no, sorry, darling, that won't suit you. Pick something else. They are honest. They are beautiful clothes. $100 voucher from them. Soda Smith gave us a 20 a special discount code. So they make mixes and stuff, non-alcoholic stuff. The discount code equaled an incredible, it's like a $40 off because it's a percentage off plus the postage as well. No minimum purchase requirements. Can't use it with any other discounts, but that's okay. Cal Gold Gear, lovely young lass, starting a business. She specializes in workwear and stuff for the equine industry. So if you've had a lot to do with racehorses and you're a groom, you have to march around the ring with the horse, and so there's certain dress standards and stuff. When my dad had race horses and those sorts of things, I had no dress standards because I was a child, or technically shouldn't have been doing it. But nowadays with greater sort of, you're meant to look a certain way, and she's got tough gear that's easy to clean, that you can work in, and all that sort of stuff. Spiker, beautiful woman as well, from South Australia, Australian Rural Woman of the Year. Did I get that right? Last year? This year? This year, maybe.
Sure.
She was in the competition anyway. I don't know if she won it or not. She should have won it. God damn it. $100 gift card for a price and a 10% discount for everyone who attended the bingo night. And she makes like fruity snacks and that sort of thing. If you're at the AWIA conference, her stand was the one trying to get us all to eat ice cream ice cream made out of bananas. But she also makes like hiking foods, single serve, sort of long shelf stable stuff, using up fruit and vegetables and things that otherwise would be discarded. So trying to really sort of cut the hole in that chain there. And the In Two Minds wine, very random story. They're two winemakers that both have the same name. They're not related, but they married twins. So they gave us an excellent code as well for free freight on a 6-pack order. And that, like, the support from just a hand, like, it was just amazing. And we had fun. And Alistair, our MC, it would have been more fun if he was in drag, to be honest, I think next time. But in Alice's defense, he did have to go and inspect a fire on his boundary just before calling the bingo. So he didn't really have time to get into drag. So we'll forgive him this time. But yeah, what was your highlight, Katja? The fact that the committee kept winning and we told them they weren't allowed to win and they had to keep giving their prizes back.
I love that. I really enjoyed the fact that I could play in my pajamas and no one knew I was in my pajamas. I really enjoyed the camaraderie and the commentary, and I love getting feedback from when people have a great time in an event. And last night people were messaging the Instagram page, they were messaging me in person, and I loved that. I had people say, like, I skipped out, Sally, who's an ANFD, skipped out on a dinner to play some rounds of bingo and then headed back. So I just love the commitment that our ANFDs have, that those who support the conference. Thank you so much for coming out and supporting both players and sponsors. So very, very grateful that a passion project, an idea that I had, that I got really stubborn about and put on, has really grown and developed into what it is now, with the committee, with the second event coming up next year, and now with fundraising options, because these fundraising options mean that we can decrease the amount that the ticket price is, so that more regional and remote women in farming can come together and be empowered and learn these assumed skills that we're all meant to just have when we marry into a family farming business, or when we're trying to integrate back into the business as the farm daughter. So grateful for that. If what we've just said about the bingo night is really resonating, you want to get in on the fun, you want to get in on the discount codes, then the best place to meet us is at Alistair's Makeup Workshop on Tuesday, the 18th of November. The time and details will be brought out soon with lots of social media posts. Yes,
I'm going to be at a dinner.
I
can't bring my glamour shot, because I'll tell you a funny story, everybody. When I was in my early 20s, I think I was like 21 or 22, so still very quite baby-faced, the glamour shots people came to town. And if you're from a regional town, you'll understand what I'm talking about, because these people used to traipse around the countryside, and they'd do your hair and your makeup, and they'd take the photos, and then they do family photos, and it'd cost a fortune. Anyway, so my mum and I went to the glamour shots. They drape you in the feather boa and all that sort of carry on. I looked so goddamn old. My kids found my glamour shot photo and they said, "Why have you got a photo of Grandma Judy?"
Oh my goodness, no.
I was 22. I looked like my mother.
Oh my goodness.
So
I wonder if we should put that up on socials, seeing as you're not going to be there.
It's in my storage shipping container that lives out the side of the house. So I will go and I'll fish it out and take it, because the whole aim of it is so you do not look like you've had your glamour shot done. Yeah. But I've just realised, because I've got it's the Livestock SA AGM / nonsense. So I've got a dinner that night, unfortunately. So I don't think I can. It depends. Oh, if I could make the timing, I could put my makeup on and then run to the dinner. So let's see how it works out. But if you've got teenage daughters, if you're just trying to get back into wearing makeup after a long period of not wearing makeup, it would be, Alistair, don't judge his makeup ability by his drag queen makeup, because they're two very, very different things and two very, very different skills, and he's very skilled at both. He did Katja's makeup for the conference earlier in the year. She looked beautiful, glowing, radiant, just very fresh, very, age appropriate. She didn't look like her mother. Didn't look like a drag queen either. Yeah, so he will be doing that, and he is, if you went to the bingo, he's a hoot. Yeah. So yeah, be good fun.
Yeah. So Alistair, for those who haven't met or seen his advertisement from last year, from this year at the conference, he is not only a farmer, but he is also a makeup artist and has his own makeup range. So incredibly diverse individual. It'll be a fantastic night, and we look forward to seeing you all there. So keep an eye out for those tickets.
Yep, we might even be able to swing a discount code from Alistair so you can buy some stuff from his makeup range. Yeah. We will talk to him. I'm sure he'll be very agreeable. Yeah. So, and then we've got the not so fun, the third fundraiser event. Yeah. Or don't we locked that one in yet? No, not yet.
So we are waiting on the date to be announced, but our third and final one is with Dr. Lucy, who is at the University of New England, and you may have recognised that name from when Gillian and I covered in one of our very first articles here on the podcast. We covered the dreaded daughter-in-law, and that was out of her research. So her session is going to be on the findings that she has had, because she has taken all those anecdotal comments that we know about family farming businesses, and she has actually run the statistics and the reports on it. So when we come out with statistics such as only 10% of farm daughters are included in succession planning, these are her results. This is what the report, they are what the report has come from. Does that make sense?
Maybe old mate from the field day should read a bit of data and some reports, and
Absolutely.
to just sort of challenge some of his misconceptions and notions.
Yeah, absolutely. And Lucy's also sent us a new research paper to read and present on the podcast in a future episode when we both get a chance to read it. So looking forward to that as well.
So 12th of Never, we'll be getting onto that, Katja.
12th of Never. Yeah, when we fit things in. Excellent. But I think we're going to wrap that up for tonight, and we look forward to seeing you in another episode. So have a great week, guys, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.